Here is the central monitoring room that centrally and remotely controls the manufacturing site. This room has a monitoring system for viewing the robot's operating status and manufacturing progress in real time. As a particular note, you can monitor the robot's movement and waveform while welding in real time by using the robot's monitor function. It is additionally useful towards improving welding posture and conditions. By using both the live camera footage and digital display, you can efficiently monitor the manufacturing site from the central monitoring room. By connecting the manufacturing site's robot to an intranet, you can see the robot's operating status remotely. You can also use this function to analyze the production line's operation rate and to improve the production process. This system will help to optimize the entire factory. We will introduce TAWERS TIG. TIG welding is different from CO2 mag welding since TIG welding can prevent spatter and create beautiful-looking beads. However, there is an issue in that the wire melts slowly and welding cannot be sped up because conventional TIG welding feeds the filler wire to the molten pool on the workpiece for welding. In the TAWERS TIG system that we are introducing, the filler wire is located closely to the electrode, which lets the arc preheat the wire. That way, the wire melts faster and the speed of entire welding process is improved by the TIG welding robot. As already mentioned, TAWERS TIG welding offers much faster welding operations than conventional TIG welding. Also, by adding the TAWERS TIG start unit, you can have a high-frequency start. That way, electrodes are long-lasting and arc starts good and short. With the software, TAWERS TIG welding can profile height simultaneously to absorb the distortion from welding. First, we will show you high-speed welding at 80 centimeters per minute using a 1.5 mm thick plate of stainless steel. The first half will show continuous welding, and the second half will show arc spot welding, which shortens the startup time. Please watch both demonstrations. Next, please watch how welding is done simultaneous to height profiling that absorbs the workpiece's distortion from welding. As you can see, TAWERS TIG is a TIG welding robot that can achieve both a beautiful-looking bead and high-speed welding. We will introduce our active aluminum process and laser sensor. The active wire welding method is effective in reducing spatter and preventing burn-through when welding aluminum. In addition to conventional DC pulse welding, AC pulse welding has been developed to reduce heat input. However, when the wire extension changes, it causes the spatter to adhere. In the case of ultra-thin plate, heat input is high and causes burn-through. On the other hand, active aluminum smoothly opens the short circuit to enable welding with low heat input even for thin plate. That way, it is able to prevent the generation of spatter and burn-through. Also, by using spiral weaving that is integrated into the robot's functions, you can fully synchronize welding output, wire feed speed, and weaving movement. That makes it possible to obtain scaly beads that look like the work of a master craftsman. This upcoming demonstration also shows simultaneous positioning by the laser sensor. The laser sensor recognizes the workpiece in 3D form so that it can work on the distortion from welding simultaneously while welding. With the laser sensor, you can weld a thin plate in a straight line. Also, as a big feature, it can work with glossy materials such as stainless steel and aluminum. Now we will show you welding of a 0.6 mm thin plate and spiral weaving with a 1.5 mm gap using spiral weaving. A 0.6 mm thin plate is welded. You can see the welding with no spatter generated and no burn-through. The spiral weaving function can change two welding conditions in a spiral motion. For thick plate, welding proceeds at high output, whereas for thin plate welding, output is low. That way, it is very effective for welding thin plate like aluminum and gap welding. As a welding method, active aluminum is a great fit for thin plates like aluminum used in automobiles, motorcycles, etc. Also, by using a laser sensor, high-quality welding is possible even with workpieces that tend to deform while welding.